who's joining in. Hi, Mayuresh. It's been a good session. The bulls are going into this event, not expecting any kind of negative. I want to review on the cement pack. UltraTech Cement surprised the street, and the stock is at the high point today. I think from the result day, it's given you roughly around 7.5% return. Your view on the cement stocks? There are two schools of thought. One is valuation-wise, things have become attractive. The second part is maybe the next couple of quarters will be an absolute washout. Quarter 2 and quarter 3 as well. How would you approach them?
Afternoon, Nigel. So I think there is no dispute in terms of how the cement sector is stacked up in terms of valuations per se, both historically and in terms of its relative comparisons as well. On the other hand, I think the numbers that UltraTech came out with, I think outstanding set of numbers, specifically in terms of volume growth and the expectations largely that is now getting built in terms of capacity expansions which are happening at a relatively lower cost, along with the internals that they're probably having in terms of waste heat recoveries and in terms of power plants as well. I think that captive power will also ensure that the ESG requirements are also fulfilled to a large extent in terms of carbon neutrality. So in terms of the sector as a whole, I think the additions that are probably happening both in clinker and grinding units over the next couple of years and the expectations of demand, UltraTech has put in its presentation an 8% demand CAGR coming largely from rural, urban housing and other infrastructure development as well. So again, an 8% CAGR on the base that the sector is probably sitting on will largely mean that utilization levels probably for the sector move above 70, probably go to 75%, which means huge operating leverage. Input costs are stabilizing, which again indicates that the reported EBITDA per ton should largely also start stabilizing and improving. However, I think quarter 2, I think it's one of the weakest quarters with monsoon around. So that's obviously expected to be a little bit soft in terms of performance. And expectations in terms of demand recovery in Q3, I think that would be intact primarily, Nigel, because of the government spending which will come through. I think a year and a half after that, general elections around the corner, and the government will go all guns blazing in terms of what UltraTech has probably put forth, rural, urban and infrastructure development. So yes, I think staying with the leaders, as our own methodology says, anybody holding on, I think UltraTech, the momentum can continue with a leader like it.
Any word on Jubilant, Mayuresh?
No, so as Mangala was mentioning, Anuj, afternoon first of all to you, I think the SSS growth largely is not disclosed, but the kind of store additions that they'll probably do is something that needs to be seen. The second element obviously is the kind of margin impact. Yes, price hikes have been taken, but what kind of margin performance do they deliver? And what is the demand outlook in lieu of competition going ahead? I think a couple of factors which work in their favor largely are that with the offices opening up and the unlocked trade largely having resumed across the country at this point of time with a lot of outlets being opened up, I think the volume growth should be reasonable enough with the price hike, even with the price hikes that they have taken. The second element in terms of the new additions that they've done, what is the contribution that probably happens? But at this point of time, as I look at our O'Neill ratings, I think the RS strength for the stock probably is a little bit on the weaker side. So we'll actually wait out for numbers and the commentary thereof to probably take a call.